Hey guys, and welcome back to another meal prep. So I just got all of my meat ready and I have it sitting out here. This is going to be an evening meal prep, so I want to get this all done as quickly as I can before it gets dark and I'm tired and don't feel like doing this anymore. It's all been thawed. I have some ground beef, some chicken breast, and some chicken thighs, and this is completely unrelated to meal prepping, but I just got an Amazon delivery and I got these like house shoes, and they're perfect for summer, but they feel like you're walking on a cloud. So I thought I had to share, have to mention, they're so incredibly comfortable. I will link them below if you're looking for a good summer house shoe. So the best way to get this all done in a good time is to get the protein going first. So I am going to actually get my pressure cooker out and throw the chicken breast in there so that I can shred that up. I'm doing a broccoli rice dish with part of it, and then the other part of it I'm going to be doing some spinach artichoke burgers with, so all of it needs to be cooked and shredded for those things. And then I'm also going to put my ground beef into the frying pan and get that cooked up as well. So some of this is going to be a bacon beef chili, and then the other part of it is going to be some Greek meatballs. The chicken thighs are going to be made up for another dish I'll show you guys here after a bit, but I'm going to get these things started. The first protein that I got started was the chicken breast, and I went ahead and put it into my pressure cooker just on the poultry setting and just got it cooked up really quickly because I was going to use my hand mixer to shred it up. And this was even slightly still frozen, and it did a great job. I love that about my pressure cooker. I can make up meat really fast, even if it's not completely thawed out. And then I went ahead and put 1 of the pounds of beef into the frying pan and preheated my oven. And then the other pound of beef I got into my mixing bowl because I was going to be making up some Greek-inspired meatballs. Don't forget that all of the recipes will be in the description box and you guys can check them out there. So I have been loving this prep mat from Amazon. It's kind of grippy. It makes sure that your cutting board or anything that you're setting on top of it kind of holds its place. And to be honest, I know this is such a mental thing, but I really think it helps contain my mess in the kitchen area because I tend to just kind of keep all of my cooking to that space where the mat is. So I will leave that linked below as well. I know you guys have been asking questions about a lot of my kitchen items that are from Amazon. So definitely, if you have asked me, check out the description box for all of that. So I went ahead and cut up some purple onion. I got some herbs ready. I love how Greek food takes a lot of things that you wouldn't really think about combining together and create such great flavor, like lemon in a meatball. I mean, how perfect. It made the flavor so delicious and so fresh. I feel like these meatballs are perfect for spring. Next, I washed up some mint and some parsley and chopped those up as well. If you had a food processor, you could probably throw them in that, but I don't have one and I like to chop things up whenever I'm cooking. So I cut up the herbs and added them to the bowl. once my pound of beef that I had put into the frying pan was done, I transferred it over to my Dutch oven because I'm going to be making some bacon beef chili, and the Dutch oven is the best place to make chili because it tastes like it's been cooking for hours and hours, but you can make it up pretty quickly in there. It contains the heat and makes amazing soup. After that, I just kind of wiped out my skillet and I put the chicken thighs into here. I'm going to be making up some creamy Tuscan chicken, and this dish I think is the winner of the day in my opinion. So stay tuned to see what it looks like at the end. And then while the thighs were starting to cook, I took the meat and made them into meatballs to get them in the oven. I've partnered up with ButcherBox to bring you guys this monthly meal prep. If you guys don't know what ButcherBox is, they deliver high quality meat right to your door. Their New York strip steaks and their ground beef is 100% grass fed and grass finished. They have no added hormones, no antibiotics ever, and it's humanely raised beef. Their chicken drumsticks are free range, organic, humanely raised, and have no added hormones or antibiotics. They are running a barbecue bundle right now, just in time for barbecue season as it's warming up outside, and you will get 7 pounds of grilling essential meat free with your first order. You'll be getting 2 New York strip steaks, 6 burgers, and 5 pounds of drumsticks on top of the package that you choose. I was completely impressed by my box that arrived on my door. Everything was still so frozen, and the quality of the meat is really, really great. So check out the link in the description box to get your free bonus. Believe me, you will love this as much as I do. At this point, my chicken breasts were done in the pressure cooker, and I was able to pull them out. So I took about half of the chicken breast and put it into a separate mixing bowl for some spinach artichoke chicken burgers, and then the other half I left actually in the pressure cooker. I took my hand mixer and I just kind of shredded it up, and then after that I grabbed some bacon and threw it into my air fryer. A quick little tip, if you're making bacon in the air fryer, it's kind of like weaves bacon, kind of put it in different angles in different ways, and you can fry up an entire pack of bacon at once, which saves so much time, so much grease splattered everywhere. I love making bacon this way. In between making everything else, I was kind of adding the ingredient to the bacon beef chili. It's kind of a fresh little take on chili, which, by the way, this was the first time I made this and it turned out absolutely incredible. I think it's a good spring take on chili. I know we usually think of chili as a winter thing, so this is a great idea. And I know that we are still having some cooler days here in central Pennsylvania, so chili still hits the spot. And who doesn't love bacon? I mean, you can add it to anything and it makes it better. After I pulled off my chicken thighs, I diced up an onion and threw it into the pan to get ready to make some sauce that will go with the Tuscan chicken. By this point, my bacon was done, so I pulled it out, chopped it up. Half of it is going to go into my broccoli chicken rice dish, which is what part of the shredded chicken will go for, and then the other half is going to go into the chili. Don't forget, another way to boost your soups and just make them a little bit healthier is to use bone broth instead of regular chicken broth or beef broth. It doesn't really taste different in my opinion, and it has so many more health benefits to it. I did use canned coconut cream for this dressing or sauce or gravy or whatever you want to call it, but you can definitely use a heavy cream if you aren't dairy sensitive. Alright, so if you guys are new around here, I like to use xanthan gum instead of cornstarch or any other thickener just because it has less calories and just does a great job just like anything else would. So as you're whisking whatever you want to make thick, you just want to kind of sprinkle it in as you go and just treat it very similarly to cornstarch. Next, I added in my spinach and my sun-dried tomatoes and stirred that all together, and then I nestled the chicken thighs back in. And personally, I think this would be a great way to serve this if you weren't going to be freezing it. I was going to be freezing mine, so I went ahead and put it into a freezer-safe container. Once the meatballs were cooled, I just put them into a storage bag and I froze them that way. Next, I started focusing on my broccoli chicken dish, and I just actually had gotten some pre-cut broccoli and threw it into the pan. I did kind of tear it apart into littler pieces so it was easier to bite into, but other than that, I just put it in with some oil to stir fry it up. Just a quick way to make up some broccoli. And then I shredded the other part of the chicken to make the chicken burgers. And I actually ended up using my immersion blender for this, and it did a pretty good job. My chili was completely finished at this point, and I went ahead and put some in a bowl and ate them. It was so good. I used a little bit of avocado, some fresh cilantro, and then I squeezed some lime over the top, and this was delicious. The rest of it I did put into a storage bag to put into the freezer. After my broccoli was softened up, I dumped in some cauliflower rice. You could also use any other type of rice you want to. This is just the option I chose, and kind of stir fried all of it together, and then I added it to the shredded chicken that was in my pressure cooker bowl or container. Next, I made the sauce that went into the chicken and rice, and this is a really great option if you are someone that can't do dairy. This sauce is completely dairy-free. Like I said, I will leave the link for the recipe below, and personally, I have been looking for a recipe down this line for a long time that doesn't use canned soup or cheese, and this is a great option. Once I had it all combined, I dumped it into a freezer-safe container, and you can just heat it up by putting it in the oven. To go along with the spinach and artichoke chicken burgers, I wanted to do up some diced sweet potatoes. This is such a good option for a side that can go into the freezer. All you have to do is peel your sweet potatoes, and then I actually get out a storage bag and roll the sides down, and as I'm chopping them into diced pieces, I put them into that storage bag. I just like this idea. I know sometimes people ask why whenever I'm gonna roast veggies, I put them into the storage bag. I just feel like I can get the veggies individually coated with the olive oil better than if I were to put it into a mixing bowl and try to stir it around. I just think it works a little bit better. Plus, it's a little easy cleanup. You can just throw the storage bag away. And I also added in some diced onion. I always think that adds so much flavor to roasted veggies, throwing a little bit of that in. And then to reheat this, I actually would throw it into my air fryer, but you could also reheat it in the oven pretty quickly. And you guys, I'm so sorry, but I don't have the finished footage of what the chicken burgers looked like. I will leave the recipe below though, so you guys can make them too. And if you're new around here, I would love it if you subscribed. I do lots of meal prepping, lots of foodie inspiration, and don't forget to check out the link below to get your 7 pounds of free meat added to your butcher box and delivered straight to your door. I'll see you guys in my next video.